Let's go Browns. What if I told you that the most groundbreaking transformation within the Cleveland Browns organization this offseason isn't unfolding on the field, but rather behind the scenes? What if I told you that a subtle yet calculated shift could end up being Andrew Berry's most influential decision of the entire year? That's precisely what's happening in Berea right now. A sweeping overhaul of the Browns' health and performance department has taken shape, and if you dive deep into the details, it might just be the franchise's most pivotal change in 2025. But before we go any further, hit that like button if you've been a diehard Cleveland Browns fan for over 2 decades. It's incredible to see fans of every generation. And if you believe we're destined for the Super Bowl, drop this in the comments. Go Browns. My heart is all yours. Let's rewind for a moment. The Browns didn't just endure a rough year in 2024. They suffered a catastrophic year physically. Injuries ravaged the team's trajectory at every turn. From Deshaun Watson's devastating Achilles tear to Nick Chubb's fractured foot, from Dawan Jones's broken leg to Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah's neck injury, 248 games lost in total. This isn't simply bad luck. It's a systemic failure, and Andrew Berry recognized it. That's why in January, after a brutal 3-14 season, Berry promised to look inward, not just at the players of the game plan, but at the entire process of keeping the team healthy and ready. And now we're witnessing that commitment come to life. This week, the Browns executed one of the most assertive restructurings we've seen in years. Seasoned staffers have been shown the door. 6 new hires are in, 3 crucial internal promotions. And what's even more compelling, every move is deliberate, strategic, purposeful. This wasn't just a cleanup, it was a total reinvention. Let's start with those no longer wearing orange and brown. Joe Sheehan, the Senior Vice President of Player Health and Development, gone after 16 years. Sean Hools, Director of Performance since 2020, also out. Katie Messick, Director of Performance Nutrition since 2016, gone. That's decades of institutional wisdom wiped clean. Now let's meet the new regime. Ryan Curtis steps in as Director of Health Performance Innovation. Keenan Robinson is now Manager of Recovery Services. 2 new performance therapists, Matt Hobbs and Stephen Best, have joined the ranks. Grace Kennedy comes on board as Assistant of Performance Nutrition, and Jeremy Portillo arrives as Performance Science Fellow. This is a layered, contemporary approach. Health, recovery, nutrition, innovation, and science each receiving its own specialized leadership. But let's spotlight one promotion in particular, Pat Rock. You might not recognize his name now, but get ready because this man could become the linchpin of the entire operation. Rock's journey began humbly as a summer intern back in 2014. 11 years later, he's been elevated to head athletic trainer. And he's not merely a trainer, he's a certified strength and conditioning specialist with a keen grasp of both the locker room dynamics and the scientific foundations. Rock now leads an interdisciplinary team of athletic trainers and physical therapists, seamlessly collaborating with team physicians and external medical experts. And this isn't just about taping ankles or handing out ice packs. This is about strategy, structure, culture. Rock holds a degree in biology from Drew University, where he also played collegiate baseball, and a master's degree in athletic training from Seton Hall. That's science and sport converging. And now it's all focused on eradicating Cleveland's most persistent adversary, injury. But Rock's promotion isn't the only significant shift. Kelsey Fahy ascends to Director of Performance Nutrition, while Gordon Williams steps into the role of Health and Performance Operations Coordinator. Each of these individuals now holds the keys to how this team trains, recovers, fuels, rests, and ultimately performs on Sundays. So let's be clear, this is Andrew Berry going all in on infrastructure. You don't overhaul a third of your performance department unless you're convinced the old system was fundamentally flawed. Berry was crystal clear in his press release. Player availability and safety, while maximizing player performance, is a crucial process to the success of our organization. And then he delivered a statement that cuts even deeper. We have begun the process of modernizing our approach in the player health and wellness spaces. That's not just coach speak, that's an admission. They weren't modern, they weren't optimizing performance. And they're no longer content to stand still. Because here's where it gets even more compelling. How will these changes ripple throughout the roster? What happens if these upgrades keep Deshaun Watson on the field for an entire season? What if Nick Chubb doesn't just return, but thrives under a reimagined recovery protocol? And what if young talents like Dawan Jones and Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah finally stay healthy long enough to realize their potential? Before we delve into how this transformation might impact personnel decisions, the draft, and yes, even the quarterback situation, I want to hear from you. What do you think of this overhaul? Can these behind-the-scenes moves truly changed the trajectory of the Browns' 2025 campaign. Let's not sugarcoat it. No free agent signing, no draft pick, no blockbuster trade will matter if the Browns can't keep their best players on the field. That's why this offseason's quiet revolution might be more significant than any on-field headline. We're now entering the era of precision performance in Cleveland. And at the center of this shift isn't a quarterback or a star wide receiver. It's the system built to support that. Let's revisit some of the injuries that derailed the Browns last season. Deshaun Watson's Achilles tear didn't just sideline a quarterback. It disrupted the entire offensive rhythm. Nick Chubb's broken foot removed one of the league's most reliable weapons. And when you add Alex Wright's torn triceps, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah's neck injury, and Darwin Jones' broken leg, it's no wonder the team struggled to stay competitive. These aren't mere physical setbacks. They're momentum killers, morale crushers. Lose your stars and you lose your identity. But now the Browns are betting everything on a single ID. That's smarter systems, better personnel, and modern methodologies can be the difference between another 3-14 disaster and a playoff resurgence. So what does modernizing actually mean? With Ryan Curtis spearheading health and performance innovation, this isn't guesswork. It's data. It's analytics, performance metrics, and individualized health protocols. With Matt Hobbs and Stephen Best as performance therapists, it's not just about rehabilitation. It's about prehabilitation. Preventative care becomes as crucial as game planning. With Keenan Robinson managing recovery services, recovery itself becomes a pillar, not an afterthought. Then there's the nutrition side. Elevating Kelsey Fahey to director of performance nutrition signals that what players eat when they eat it and how it aligns with their physiology is now a core competitive advantage. Grace Kennedy joins to support that mission. And the addition of Jeremy Portillo as a performance science fellow that demonstrates Cleveland's investment in research, experimentation, and cutting-edge science to extract every ounce of potential from its athletes. Now let's circle back to Pat Rock's rise. From intern to leader in just over a decade. That doesn't happen by accident. It's the mark of relentless effectiveness. He's walked every hallway in this building. He's witnessed every injury, every misstep, every consequence, and now he's been given the reins. His deep institutional knowledge combined with his scientific expertise places him in a unique position to overhaul not just processes, but culture itself. This reimagined department continues to collaborate with university hospitals and Dr. James Voos, who isn't just the team's head physician, but also the president of the NFL Physicians Society. That medical firepower combined with internal modernization creates an ecosystem where elite performance isn't just the target, it's the standard. But Browns fans, let's be honest, this only matters if it translates to wins. If this new regime keeps Chubb healthy, if it helps Watson recapture his mobility and confidence, if the next rookie doesn't just survive training camp, but emerges as a reliable contributor all season long. Because with every new hire, every upgraded role, and every modernized practice, the message is clear. The excuses are over. So what does this mean going forward? It means that when the Browns approach the 2025 NFL Draft, they can shift their strategy. With a healthier roster, they may not need to reach for depth players. If recovery and performance science deliver, the front office can focus on adding impact talent instead of filling injury gaps. And don't underestimate the impact this could have on free agency. Player stock. Word spreads. Franchise investing in state-of-the-art performance, that's a magnet for top talent. It also buys time for quarterback clarity. Shedeur Sanders is the name on everyone's lips with the Browns holding the 2 overall pick. Russell Wilson rumors have faded, and the Kenny Pickett situation is still murky. Without a veteran quarterback solution locked in, player development becomes even more critical, and you can't develop what you can't keep healthy. What happens next is anyone's guess, but make no mistake, the Browns just drew a line in the sand. The 2025 season isn't just about winning games. It's about reimagining how the Browns operate from the inside out. The front office has stopped tolerating an outdated performance model. The message to fans, players, and the league is crystal clear. Cleveland is done being broken. It's time to rebuild with intention. Now it's your turn. Smash that like button if you believe this performance revolution could finally shatter the Browns' injury curse. Subscribe for more deep dive content on every facet of this franchise. And most importantly, drop your thoughts below. Is this the smartest move the Browns made this offseason, or just another behind-the-scenes distraction from the real challenges ahead? Let's hear it. Dog Pound, the most passionate, die-hard fan base in the entire NFL. I hope y'all are crushing it. We're back with another sizzling update on our Cleveland Browns, and today we're diving headfirst into some serious trade buzz that's igniting the rumor mill a potential acquisition of wide receiver John Metchie, III from the Houston Texans. That's right, front office maneuvers are in the works. And it looks like Andrew Berry might be cooking up something special yet again. Could this move be a game changer for our offense? Let's unpack it with stats, context, and of course that trademark dog pound energy. So, grab a cold one, get comfortable, and let's jump into the video. All right, folks, this rumor is gaining momentum, and the source is legit. According to Dogs by Nature, John Metchie is being floated as a possible target for our offense. Now, it's not official yet, just speculation for the moment, but where there's smoke, there's usually fire, right? Metchie is a wide receiver who hasn't exactly been lighting it up in Houston, opening the door to some trade chatter. But who is this guy? Why is he on Andrew Berry's radar? And more importantly, what could he bring to our offensive arsenal? Let's break it down. John Metchie, a second-round pick by the Texans in 2022, is brimming with potential. He came out of Alabama, where he lined up alongside stars like Devonta Smith and Jalen Waddle, so he knows what it's like to shine in a high-octane offense. He's 23 years old, stands 5'11", and is renowned for his speed and his knack for creating separation in his routes. However, his NFL journey hasn't exactly taken off yet. In 2022, he missed the entire season after being diagnosed with leukemia. Stay strong, Metchie. In 2024, he appeared in 12 games, but logged just 20 receptions for 208 yards and a single touchdown. Not quite the breakout people envision. So what do you think, Dog Pound? Could Metchie be the spark we desperately need, or is he just another name swirling in the rumor mill? Let's be honest, our offense in 2024 was a roller coaster. At times, it looked like Kevin Stefanski had unlocked the secret sauce, but then came that brutal stretch of games. You know the one, we finished 3-14 and our offense was far from elite. Our O-line, once considered one of the best in the league, had its fair share of struggles. Our passing game, let's just say it felt more like a paper airplane than a fighter jet. This week, Jeudy, who we snagged from the Broncos, finally delivered his first 1,000-yard season. Props to him. Cedric Tillman flashed promise but missed the final 6 games due to a concussion. And as for receiver depth, let's just say it's thinner than my uncle's hairline at 50. That's why the Metchie rumor makes sense. Our offense needs more weapons, especially someone who can bring explosiveness and versatility. At his best, Metchie is the kind of receiver who can line up in the slot, stretch the field, and create big plays after the catch. Imagine him opening things up for Jeudy or Tillman, or complimenting Diontae Johnson, who we picked up from the Steelers. That would be an intriguing fit in Stefanski's scheme, which thrives on mismatches and creative play design. But here's the catch. Metchie still hasn't proven he can be consistent in the NFL. Is he worth the gamble? So let's talk about Andrew Berry, our GM, and let's be real, a trade wizard. He got Jerry Jeudy for a steal, a 5th and a 6th rounder. Who saw that coming? Traded for Kenny Pickett from the Eagles and even brought in Joe Flacco to stabilize the quarterback room. Berry's never been afraid to make bold moves, and I respect that. He's always thinking 2 steps ahead, like a grandmaster in chess. But let's be honest, not every move has panned out. Remember when we brought in Diontae Johnson and he barely made an impact in 2024? We're still waiting for him to find his rhythm in the offense. If this Metchie rumor is legit, it shows Berry is trying to add some firepower without breaking the bank. Our cap space is tight, roughly $30 million or over, according to Yahoo Sports. So any move has to be strategic. Metchie being underused in Houston probably wouldn't cost more than a 4th or 5th round pick. That would be a savvy move, given our depth issues and the fact that we've got 10 picks in the 2025 draft. But hey, do you still believe in Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry to get us out of this mess? Or is your patience wearing thin with this roller coaster ride? If Metchie does land in Cleveland, what could we expect? First, let's talk about offensive impact. Stefanski's system is built on timing, separation, and creating opportunities for playmakers. Metchie's speed and route running could fit like a glove in this offense, giving us the burst we've been missing. So tell me, Dog Pound, would you roll the dice on John Metchie II, or should we hold out for a bigger splash? Sound off in the comments. And don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and share this video with every Browns fan you know. Let's keep the conversation going and bring that Dog Pound energy every single day. Stefanski's system depends heavily on a dominant ground attack. And when Nick Chubb is healthy, he's an absolute force. But in 2024, the passing game was erratic, and that wasn't solely on the quarterbacks. With Jeudy entrenched as Roan and Tillman showcasing flashes of promise, Metchie could seamlessly slide in as a reliable 3, adding the kind of dynamism we've seen from players like Deebo Samuel. who, by the way, was once rumored to be on the Browns' radar. Imagine Metchie running crisp short routes and turning quick throws into explosive 20-yard gains. That would unlock Stefanski's playbook and open up the run game even more. Looking ahead, the AFC North is an all-out battlefield. The Baltimore Ravens are soaring. The Pittsburgh Steelers bolstered their arsenal by bringing in DK Metcalf. And the Cincinnati Bengals still have Joe Burrow ready to wreak havoc. If we want to contend for a playoff berth in 2025, this offense has to hit its stride. Metchie alone won't be a miracle cure, but he could become an essential piece in a puzzle that desperately needs solving. Speaking of that, let's talk quarterbacks. Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel. So who's going to be slinging the rock? Can Metchie sync with any of them? Browns fans, what do you think? Could this trade be the spark we need to reignite our playoff hope? The dog pound is split on this rumor on X. Some fans are fired up, calling Metchie the next Deebo Samuel for our offense. Others are more skeptical, dismissing him as just another one of Barry's experiments that might not pan out. One post I saw summed it up perfectly. If Metchie comes here, he needs a legitimate QB, or he's just going to be another wasted talent. And let's be real, that tracks. Our quarterback situation is still a huge question mark, and the fan base is watching every move closely. Another fan posted, Barry, stop bringing in second-tier receivers and go get us a franchise QB. I get the frustration, trust me. But I also think Barry is trying to build a balanced roster and set us up for long-term success. Some fans are comparing Metchie to Cedric Tillman, saying we already have a guy with similar upside. Is that fair, or does Metchie bring a different skill set to the table? At the end of the day, the dog pound wants one thing: wins. After a dismal 3-14 season, in 2024, patience is wearing thin, and the pressure is on Stefanski and Barry. So tell me, Browns fans, are you hyped about the Metchie rumor, or is this just more smoke and mirrors? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's put things into perspective. Remember the Chris Olave rumors with the Saints? A guy had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons before 2024, but dealt with concussion issues. Metchie doesn't have that resume, but he also doesn't carry the same hefty price tag. Another name that came up, Deebo Samuel. Barry reportedly tried to bring him in. Deebo's a monster after the catch, racking up 1,770 Yak yards since 2021. Metchie could bring a bit of that same juice, albeit with far less experience. Looking at the stats, Metchie averaged 10.4 yards per reception in 2024, solid, but not jaw-dropping. Jeudy, for example, had 13.2 yards per catch last season, so let's be clear, Metchie's not coming in as a roan. But if Stefanski deploys him correctly, he could be the ideal complementary weapon. Let's not sugarcoat it. The AFC is loaded with young, explosive receivers. JMR Chase with the Bengals, George Pickens with the Steelers. We need someone who can step in and make an impact. Is Metchie that guy? Dog pound, the John Metchie I rumor is making waves, and we know Andrew Barry doesn't make moves lightly. If this trade happens, it could be the catalyst our offense needs in 2025. But one thing's for sure, the dog pound never backs down. We'll be here barking, cheering, and holding everyone accountable. Woof, woof. So tell me, do you think Metchie is the missing piece, or should we aim even higher? Smash that like button, hit subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and share this video with every Browns fan you know. Let's ride this journey together and bring our team back to the top. Until next time, dog pound. Let's go Browns.